Hey everybody at YouTube, this is Belligerent, and in this video I'm going to cover Dispelcleave, aka Paladin Disc Priest Warrior, or Double Healer, versus the infamous African Turtle Cleave, aka Paladin Marks Hunter Prot Warrior. And first of all, start off as usual with what to expect before you play. First of all, your only kill targets will be like the Hunter and the Paladin. Usually it's going to be the Hunter, but if you guys are lucky, you'll get the Paladin killed if he's or just playing poorly. What they're going to do is be on your priest for about 80% of the game and switches to you for quote-unquote Gibbs, and switches to your warrior to reduce his damage. Try not to stand by your priest so you can avoid getting shockwave stunned, or even like focus shield bashed. But yeah, it's best to stay about 15 yards away from your priest so you guys don't both get stunned by the shockwaves. So those really add up, and those can easily get your priest killed. You need to keep the hunter's poisons off your warrior because he can disarm your warrior with a scorpion poison up and a chimera shot. So if you see the scorpion poison, take it off. If you see snakes, consecrate them. If you don't want to consecrate them, tell your priest to with his holy nova, or you can get your warrior to thunderclap them. I think the cheapest one overall is a holy nova, but yeah, whatever. Something needs to happen for those snakes before they get mega poisons up, to where it'll take 5 cleanses to take off 100 poisons. You pretty much just want to keep it to where there's either 1 or 0 hunter poisons on anybody at all times. And usually if you take off serpent poison, it really reduces the hunter's damage output because he can't get a good chimera shot off without having a serpent poison up. Serpent sting, that is. And you should really be judging and holy shocking the hunter as much as possible so you can break their sacred shields for your warrior so he can do more damage. And really it just makes their paladin have to heal more and really not give him any opportunities to get effective divine pleas off. You want him to like have to freak out in divine plea where he's not going to be able to heal very much while it's up, and if your priest gets it off, he runs out of mana even faster. But if your priest isn't able to get it off, you want to make it so that he isn't able to keep his hunter nearly topped, and then that hunter will be forced to blow to things like deterrence or just feign death and stuff to try to survive. Next, on to strategy. Your warrior should be on the hunter about 75% of the time and 25% of the paladin. Right at the start of the game, you and your priest need to be like running into their paladin and do a Hammer of Justice into Psychic Scream, or the other way around. Usually the Hammer of Justice into Psychic Scream is easier unless the team's very aware of it. They will do a silencing shot or a stun on your priest as the hammer finishes, so you guys can't do it. But most of the time it'll work out to where you guys can get that hammer into Psychic Scream. You want to keep doing that little rotation every 40 seconds because that's a cooldown on the Hammer of Justice as long as you have it talented, which you should. And your focus should be set on the paladin so you know when he's casting. You'll be able to see that more easily, my bad. And you can also get arcane turrets on him more easily than if you have your focus set on the hunter or something. Your priest should be trying to mana burn pretty much every time he has his powered shield haste up, which is 25% haste, or pretty much any time he's not getting stunned or CC'd, because you want to get that pally oomed as fast as possible, and that pretty much secures a win. And your priest should be keeping off the hunter's sacred shields as much as possible, and he should be taking off Beacon of Light every time he gets a chance to, because that really cuts the paladin's healing in half, allowing you guys to do a lot more pressure. Next, on to the kill. Since you and your priest have been DPSing and are just assisting your warrior by DPSing the hunter and the paladin along with burns, their paladin will run out of mana unless you guys just blatantly just let him drink without stopping him at all. And if that didn't happen, which it shouldn't, the paladin's gonna run out of mana and you have the choice of either finishing off the hunter or switching out of the paladin. Generally, it's easier to switch to the paladin and get a kill, because if he's like at 0 mana and there's a sacred shield on the hunter's going to absorb a little bit. But if you switch to that paladin, he's not going to be able to do anything. He's not even going to be able to holy shock as long as he's actually out of mana. He's below like 500 mana. He won't be able to do anything, and you should let your warrior decide what needs to be done. So hopefully they can make pretty good choices on who they want to kill. But just remember that it's much better pressure-wise to be switching between targets because it costs a lot more mana to keep up both players as opposed to one. Like for example, if there's a sacred shield and they're on the hunter, and there's a sacred shield on the hunter, it's going to be a lot easier to keep him alive than it is if you switch to the Paladin. He doesn't have enough mana to do another Sacred Shield, but he does have the mana to do a Flash of Light. So just keep that in mind. It's much better to do the switches rather than just training. But yeah, I'll get into the game now. It's on Ruins of Lordaeron. Okay, right off the get-go here, I decided to mount right into the Hunter and judge him with Light, and my Priest at the same time is getting Dispels off on everybody. That's just usually how you should start this game. Following that initial judge, I'm getting Hunter poisons off my warrior because they're starting on our warrior, and that makes it so that he's not able to get a Chimera shot off that does any damage really. Plus my warrior already has Power Shield plus Sacred Shield on him, so he's not taking any damage. And right away after that, I follow it with a Hammer of Justice on the Paladin, and this is so that we can get a Psychic Scream also on the Paladin, so that's like a 10-second minimum CC as long as it doesn't trinket. And that lets us get some pressure out on the Hunter at this time. If you notice, my Priest also gets a mana burn off on the Paladin during the Hodge and follows that with a Psychic Scream. And I pretty much cleanse it right away when he gets Silencing Shot. It lets him get some more Dispels off. That's all he's really doing right now is just spamming Dispel. And now Ray gets Scatter Shot and there's a bunch of snakes up, and usually Ray's the one that kills them with these Thunderclap, but he was not able to because he got Scatter Shot. And it's really important to get stuns off your Priest right away, because that generally means they're going to try to burst them. They freedom their Hunter about the same time I freedom Ray, but they get the freedom off Ray with a Tranquility Shot. And my Priest doesn't call his Fear here, so I wasn't close enough to follow it with a hammer. And I end up getting like stunned and stuff, but eventually I get it off. And my Priest kills the next set of snakes here with a Holy Nova, as you can see. And it's really important to get those snakes killed because they put all those extra poisons up that you don't want to have to dispel. I get a Shield Bash on me, and that's just ridiculously fast. I don't know how he Shield Bashed me so early in that cast, but he definitely got it off. And now we get the Hunter very low, and we fear the Paladin, but he did get it looks like he got a crit Holy Shock off before the fear happened. But he still does trinket the Psychic Scream. And the Hunter is super low, but he has a Deterrence up, and we're not able to kill him even though he's got deep wounds on him. So my warrior switches back onto the Pally. And the Pally is completely out of mana. Like his mana is too low to even use Bubble. So that's how we get our kill here. Pally runs so low on mana that he can't even use Bubble. Alright, a quick recap, and it really is just to remember to try to the Pally as fast as possible. Help DPS whenever you have a chance to. Whenever anybody's topped, don't just stand there and wait for damage to come in. Throw an Exorcism, a Holy Shock, or a Judgment out. And get the Hunter's poisons off right away when he uses them, so he can't follow it with a big burst or a disarm. And also you got to kill the snakes. Forgot to add that, but kill the snakes. And if you want to set up a kill, just Hammer of Justice Fear that Pally over and over again, like every 40 seconds. Just hammer into fear. And lastly, jump a lot, because it's awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to show the game with Skype, and I'll see you next time.
Come on, be hot ready. Be like 28.
That would make my fucking day.
Yeah. Three pieces from Shadow.
Hodge. Follow that.
I almost want to army him right now.
Just try to silence.
Why are they on me? Can somebody answer this?
No, they just switched.
No, not really. They're still kind of.
They are very low
Great,
rated.
kill the snakes, man.
Oh, I'm scattershotted. Fuck you.
You could have killed him when he spawned, so I'd have to cleanse freaking 3 different mind numbing.
Okay, you scattershotted. No, fuck you. I'm not listening to you.
They were up.
Remember what happens when I listen to you? Shut up.
You had the JCD.
Nope, I didn't. Shut up. I'm gonna leave if you say one more thing.
Are you kidding me? You're gonna leave?
No, I'm not fucking kidding you. I'm gonna leave.
I'd like to see this.
No, it's too many points. These guys are like 2K.
Why don't you call that fear? I wouldn't have got shockwave when you called that.
Nick, shut up.
Okay. I'm gonna Hodge Pally.
Look, you want? What's up?
Oh, he stopped my mana burn. Why would you stop my mana burn?
Yeah, I killed one snake because they ran away.
One snake. Actually,
You want me to
only
go
left
melee
one.
then?
Shit,
Fuck
only-
Nasty.
Yep. Yes, I missed the snakes. I missed the snakes.
I got shield. God dang it. That wasn't even intended, man. He just randomly shield action got me. I'm conk blow now.
Or like this paladin when I'm gonna see it right here.
I can't hodge out of it. I can silence out of it. Silence him.
Fiending.
Ah, I'm trying to solo the shaman or the hunter over here. It's not working out.
This paladin so yeah, he can't even bubble if he wants.
It's only it's 110.
Surprise!
Man. He can bubble.
Pally died.
I'm going hunter, I'm going hunter, I'm going hunter, nope.
Pally's dead. Oh.